hope it's fine. Okay, it's already recording. And I will start the webinar in 3, 2, 1.
Bom dia para todos e para
We are
todas.
live.
Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite. Sejam todos e todas bem-vindos ao BRICS em Diálogo. Esta é uma iniciativa do BRICS Policy Center com o objetivo de refletir e aprofundar e conversar sobre esse agrupamento que é tão importante hoje no contexto internacional e, sobretudo, com a entrada de novos membros, de novas pautas. E, além de tudo, porque temos daqui no próximo mês, vamos ter a cúpula na Rússia. Então, nos interessa bastante, desde o BRICS Policy Center, ver qual é o papel do Brasil, qual é o papel de cada um dos países, quais as perspectivas desses países novos e quais são suas agendas. E com o webinar de hoje, queremos dar início a uma série de eventos sobre os países BRICS. Nós temos esse primeiro hoje, que vocês nos desculpem, que temos um monte de problemas técnicos, que eu vou explicar daqui a pouco, mas o dia 9 de outubro teremos o segundo. Depois estamos programando outro para discutir e um pouco avaliar a cúpula dos BRICS, que será dia 23 e 24 na Rússia. E depois, o ano próximo, faremos uma série de eventos tendo como referência a cúpula dos BRICS, que será no Brasil no mês de agosto. E aí queremos nos preparar todo o primeiro semestre para ir pensando qual é o papel do Brasil, qual é o papel também das organizações da sociedade civil, qual é o papel das universidades, qual é o papel dos think tanks nesta discussão. Hoje estamos realmente muito felizes. Nós tínhamos pensado fazer uma conversa inicial, muito aberta, contra representantes desses novos países, como vocês sabem, na cúpula do ano passado, que aconteceu na África do Sul, foi anunciada a inclusão de 6 novos membros, com exceção da Argentina, que recusou o convite, mas os novos membros são a Arábia Saudita, Egito, Emirados Árabes Unidos, Etiópia e Irã. Eles passaram a compor esse agrupamento desde o 1º de janeiro de 2024. Conhecemos pouco desde o Brasil desses países, sobretudo em termos das agendas, das aspirações e das discussões em torno ao BRICS, aos países BRICS, ao agrupamento BRICS, e, sobretudo, em temas tão importantes como transição energética, desenvolvimento sustentável, segurança energética, e etc., etc. Então, queríamos um pouco discutir e pensar e ter um pouco uma maior integração e maior sinergia entre os países, e uma boa maneira é começar a conversar com eles. Tínhamos pensado hoje 3 países para estar conosco, que era Irã, Etiópia e Emirados Árabes. Tivemos muitos problemas de conexão, não sabemos se são nossos, acho que não, mas um pouco com os colegas que estão, sobretudo, que estão em Irã e na Etiópia, que não conseguiram se integrar hoje, se articular e entrar, e talvez não funcionou a internet, não conseguiram. Mas nós estamos muito felizes porque hoje temos a representante dos Emirados Árabes, que é a Nádia Al-Saroni, e ela vai estar aqui conosco. Também tínhamos já recebido de nosso representante do Irã, o Javed Eirania, já tinha enviado as apresentações do PowerPoint, etc. Vamos ver como nos organizamos. Mas, de todo jeito, nós estamos aqui e queria convidar vocês, obviamente, para os próximos eventos, para as próximas séries. Já queria anunciar que o próximo dia 9 de outubro, e aí vamos tentar ver qual é a melhor maneira de nos organizar e ver como funciona muito melhor a internet. Então, eu queria dar as
Okay,
bem-vindas.
I'm sorry, he's here, Maria.
Ah, ok.
I'm so
Ok,
happy. I will just rename you. Thank you so much for answering. I'm so sorry for all this hustle. Sorry, Maria, to interrupt you. Go ahead.
não, isso ok. Bom, é uma ótima notícia que a gente estava aqui já um pouco triste pelos problemas técnicos, mas aqui já estamos. Então, eu queria de novo dar muito as bem-vindas e, sobretudo, dar as bem-vindas a nossos dois convidados que estão aqui conosco. Foi? Então, queríamos começar e vamos começar um pouco. Então, esta iniciativa chamada BRICS em diálogo, que, como já falei, hoje é nossa primeira atividade, mas será uma série de atividades ao longo de 2024, mas também ao longo de 2025. Agradecer muito nossos convidados, tanto a Nália Al-Saroni, que é a representante dos Emirados Árabes, e a Jevada Irania, que é nossa representante do Irã. Estamos muito felizes que vocês conseguiram estar aqui conosco e, vamos, mais delongas, vamos entrar. Então, eu queria, a nossa metodologia, o que nós tínhamos pensado, é que como nossa primeira vez que vamos fazer um encontro com representantes desses países, nós pensamos que era bem interessante fazer uma apresentação de mais ou menos uns 20, 25 minutos de cada um desses participantes, e logo depois podemos abrir a comentários, a diálogos, a perguntas pelo sistema de Q&A aqui desse quadrinho aqui no Zoom, um pouco para entender e ter uma interação muito maior com os nossos dois participantes de hoje. Sobretudo, um pouco entender o que talvez nos interessa, e nós tínhamos conversado antes, é um pouco qual é o interesse de cada um desses países em fazer parte dos BRICS, por que é tão importante os BRICS para cada um desses países, quais são as agendas, quais são as aspirações, qual é a articulação que tem com os outros países, que eles esperam que o BRICS traga para a sua política, tanto interna como sua política externa. Bom, e um pouco isso e um pouco mais. Na verdade, nossa intencionalidade é um pouco começar a fazer um diálogo, e com certeza depois vamos fazer diálogos muito mais aprofundados e sobre temas mais específicos. Por isso, então, eu vou deixar a cada um dos dois mais ou menos fazer uma apresentação de 20, 30 minutos, e depois podemos abrir uma conversa e um diálogo. Tudo bem? Então, eu queria começar com a Nália Al-Saroni, que é de Emirados Árabes. Muito obrigada de novo pela disponibilidade de estar aqui, a Nália. Ela é pesquisadora sênior e candidata a doutorado, e é diplomata especializada nas relações China e Golfo. Tem 2 mestrados, pela Austrália e pela Academia Diplomática de Anwar Gasgar, em Emirados Árabes. Ela é diplomata, ministra de Relações Exteriores, atua como chefe da seção do leste asiático e cônsul-geral interino em Hong Kong. Como já falei para vocês, ela é especializada nas relações do Golfo com a China. Então, estamos muito felizes de ter a Nália aqui. Muito obrigada de novo. E, Nália, uns 20, 25 minutos para você fazer suas primeiras considerações.
So thank you so much for the introduction and for maybe inviting me to this series of discussions on one of my favorite topics, given that the United Arab Emirates has recently joined the BRICS Plus during the recent enlargement. I'm Najla Zaraouni, faculty at the Department of the International Relations at the University of Sharjah right now. And I'm someone who comes from the Arab world and from the Gulf, and maybe someone who shares also the momentum and the ground experience on international relations. I'm very excited to speak and maybe learn from everyone in today's discussion on my favorite dimensions of the recent inclusion of the United Arab Emirates, besides also some other countries from the Middle East in the BRICS Plus group. So thank you so much once again for the invitation. So with the announcement of the inclusion of the 3 Arab countries joining the BRICS, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates, key questions were raised on why these Arab countries sought to join the BRICS or to be part of the BRICS. We have to ask actually at the beginning what unique interests and qualities we might contribute to the BRICS group overall and bring to the BRICS. The UAE is a small country in terms of population, in terms of size, but it has sort of some far-reaching economic and geopolitical objectives and goals that would enhance also the overall objective of the enlargement of the BRICS Plus. So several aspects of goals alignments that we have to do between the United Arab Emirates alongside other Arab members of the BRICS Plus, besides the overall BRICS Plus and the old members of the and the founders of the BRICS. So we expect that, the UAE will be contributing to shaping the Arab world presence in the bloc. And so by joining the BRICS Plus, the 3 states, the Arab states, are collectively, and the UAE is a key player in this, in terms of enhancing this area of our region representation and the global representation of the BRICS that constitute more than 46% of the world's population and more than a third of the global GDP. And so it's a very powerful area for the United Arab Emirates to enhance its regional and the global role that it's aiming to play. But at the beginning, we have to also maybe provide a careful analysis of the inclusion of the BRICS Plus, and we should examine what do we expect in the Arab world and in the United Arab Emirates, given that it's part of the Gulf as well, to achieve out of joining the bloc. So it's about the BRICS and it's about us. We should be aligning the goals and the objectives all together. And in return, we also have to think at how the BRICS Plus would constitute a dual approach for the Gulf countries, for the United Arab Emirates, for the Arab world as well, to be positioned in a global and regional affairs. So I'm very pleased today to be with you and maybe to share some of my thoughts and the views on the following aspect of the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates as a Gulf country and as an Arab country in the BRICS Plus. So I'll be dividing my thoughts into a number of areas. First, I would like to maybe speak about how the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates and the BRICS Plus will promote the BRICS Plus and Arab cooperation through navigating regional investment opportunities. This could be very core for having the BRICS overall to find more and navigate more opportunities when it comes to sharing and maybe providing a better market access to all countries. And so the enlargement of the BRICS Plus bloc to include United Arab Emirates alongside Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Iran is expected to widen the range of investment opportunities for the bloc and for the Arab top largest economies, besides growing the group's influence of the Middle East globally. So we can expect that by having the United Arab Emirates, by joining the BRICS Plus, we will be upgrading the multilateral level of the Arab linkages among the emerging powers and the rest of the world, especially those in the global South powers. And this is a key driver here to improve the local capacity also to attract more and more investments. So the enlargement of the BRICS Plus, in my view, and the multilateral bloc in the Arab world is going to promise many opportunities amid the ongoing geopolitical and economic challenges that we are facing and confronting in the world economy. For example, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia are two of the top largest economies and richest countries per capita in the world. So they are also the home of the biggest sovereign wealth fund. Consequently, by joining the BRICS Plus, the United Arab Emirates will be creating many growth opportunities with returns not only to the Arab economies, but also to the growing means of cooperation between the Arab powers and the rest of the BRICS Plus members. So we might expect more of like a tripling of the promotion of shared interest to the surrounding spheres for sure. Yet, in my view, we must acknowledge the growing global uncertainties that we cannot really deny, such as high interest rates, inflation, geopolitical tensions surrounding the BRICS Plus. So these challenges put high pressure on the Arab members to the BRICS Plus to maintain their economic growth and thus their parallel contribution to the BRICS Plus, because we are very keen to contribute and to maybe be of added value to the BRICS Plus. And so when we look deeper at the case of the United Arab Emirates, the Emirati government has continued to maintain its linear growth with intensifying the focus on diversifying its local economy. And this is very important for the BRICS Plus in that, meanwhile, if we look at some numbers, the official estimate of the United Arab Emirates GDP was 731 US dollar billion at the end of the 2023 in purchasing power parity terms. This is according to the World Economics measures of the 2024. So, however, the strong performance has to be maintained, and this is very challenging, by the way. This mission is feasible through supporting the BRICS Plus tourism cooperation, real estate stability, construction efficiency, also could be smart transport system among the BRICS countries, and wide lines of manufacturing. So all of this also, besides also the capital expenditure and production of power among the group economies, will be helping and maybe making the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates in the BRICS Plus more feasible and more effective to the benefit of the whole group and the global South. So the BRICS Plus has a strong projection of financial power due to the membership of emerging economies. Yet we have to be a little bit careful here, and that the financial power of the Arab members as net exporters of capital that also enjoy geopolitical influence in the rest of the world will definitely enhance that perception. So it's undeniable that the United Arab Emirates, alongside other new Arab joiners to the BRICS Plus, will effectively and efficiently provide a wider access to growth markets with the rest of the BRICS Plus countries with favorite terms, hopefully, given their secure investment reputation and geopolitical leverage. Another point that I would like to raise away a little bit of the investment is the promotion of a balanced multilateral rule. And this is very key for the United Arab Emirates, and that the current global changing economic and geopolitical landscape and the path of multilateral institutions development is undergoing a very dynamic change that we cannot really resist, regardless where we are based in the world. And so the BRICS Plus Alliance is a significant player in the aimed transformation towards global multilateralism. The Arab world and for the United Arab Emirates, we recently have been trying to address the complexities of an ever-evolving geo-economic and geopolitical paradigms. UAE has become a key player in important and regional blocs such as the United Nations Security Council, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a new development bank, for example, and many other governmental and financial institutions. So with the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates in the BRICS Plus, we contribute and we do our best to reinforce another gateway for a higher degree of international cooperation alongside other superpowers and emerging powers within the BRICS Plus. So the recent shift of Arab countries to the east, for example, and the pursuit of diversifying their economies, their economic basket, is said to be the new ambition of many Arab countries after the Arab Spring and during the rebuilding and the reconstruction efforts of Arab countries. So having a proactive maybe approach, especially in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, within the BRICS Plus, would further support this aim that is aligned with the national and regional direction as key players in the global south and international affairs. However, we have to also be a little bit, careful in our analysis here, not to believe in the widely used generalization. The three BRICS Plus Arab members have a careful strategy not to fully detach from the West, as it's simply or assumed by many scholars in international relations, despite the growing efforts to diversify our strategic partners. So not to be overflowed with the general trend in the MENA region that looks towards the east. The three Arab countries joining the BRICS still maintain a balanced relations between the East and the West. Indeed, the BRICS Plus would serve this purpose by further enhancing the cooperation with some of the emerging powers that are also in alignment with the West. So they kind of bring also in a future dimension to the world by bridging the global north-south gaps. So this is by leveling up the mutual benefits, cooperative returns, and not only ideology and diplomatic mediation, definitely between disputing parties and international crises, such as, for example, the current Palestine-Israel crisis. So these means of cooperation would add to the global heavyweight and the BRICS Plus working framework. Another aspect that I would like also to cover, and it's very relevant to the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates in the BRICS Plus, is to strengthen trade ties. So by accepting the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates alongside Saudi Arabia and Egypt, so in the BRICS, it's a very complex and well-studied decision indeed. So the bloc is an evident platform for us, not only for the Arab trade partnerships with, let's say, China, Russia, India, Brazil, which are the top, I would say, largest trade partners for us anyway, but also an economic multilateral strength. So under the umbrella of the BRICS Plus, the United Arab Emirates alongside other Arab members would seek to be positioned in coordination with these economic giants to also lead to a larger role on the world stage. However, this economic interconnectedness is not free of geopolitical unintended consequences, unfortunately, and obstacles that might maybe hinder the process. So this is because the level of economic and trade partnerships within the BRICS Plus is elevated to a systemic level. So this challenge hinders also the acceleration and the speeding up of the trade ties among the BRICS Plus. So as a result, a closer trade coordination is needed, to be honest and to be realistic in our analysis with the new enlargement of the BRICS, by maybe doing more of facilitation of feasible multilateral trade deals and access to wider markets. So the discussion on achieving bigger size of bilateral trade between the BRICS Plus members and local currencies is also expected to be in favor of the bigger will and the bigger wish. Such a step boosts the cooperation by interlinking the interstate payments and messaging systems, for example. So another venue for direct trade and investment return that the United Arab Emirates might also bring to the BRICS Plus is the injection also of liquidity into the new development bank. Some of the Arab states provide substantial financial resources, such as a sovereign wealth fund, which is significant leverage to provide direct capital contributions. This is besides the expertise in finance and infrastructure development. Such a potential would contribute in shaping and operating the bank's projects and initiatives efficiently. So the intertwined approach would attract more funding from both within and outside the BRICS Plus framework. The last aspect that I would like to also cover is to further pursue a stable global oil market, which is a very important maybe point to tackle and to address in such a discussion. So the addition and the enlargement and the inclusion of Saudi Arabia and the UAE as key oil exporters to the BRICS Plus group would contribute to reinforcing the Arab bargaining power and influence in OPEC Plus. So this reinforcement is coincided with affording another platform to multilaterally align the strategies between the BRICS Plus and the OPEC Plus. So on the one hand, by leveraging oil and diplomatic power in both platforms, BRICS Plus and OPEC Plus, the BRICS Plus will be able to play a crucial role in balancing global oil market through closer maybe coordination with the world's biggest crude producers such as Saudi Arabia and Russia. So on the other hand, the alignment of the common grounds as well between the above mentioned two platforms also open the floor for the UAE to extend the oil conversation with the global energy consumers such as China and India on the other side of the world. So they are two key members of the BRICS and the second and third biggest world consumers of oil, with historically being profound energy ties established with the Gulf countries and with the United Arab Emirates in particular. So when it comes to oil investment, the BRICS Plus is an advantageous platform through which the Arab countries can benefit from the BRICS Plus network to access key consumers in Asia, and so would lead to more downstream investment accordingly. The expanded also version of the BRICS is now collectively representing more than 40% of the global crude oil production, which is like a key number here. According to a recent estimate by Statista, also global cooperation on oil investment within the BRICS Plus is more feasible now by the inclusion of more oil exporters to the BRICS Plus. And so to sum up and wrap up my contribution today, the inclusion of the United Arab Emirates alongside some other Arab members in the BRICS Plus would allow the group to further navigate new opportunities to play a greater regional and international role and to exercise a wider geopolitical influence. So through utilizing the national economic strength, the regional influence, and the global partnerships that the UAE was very successful in building throughout its history, so the BRICS Plus is expected also to be more embedded in multilateral arrangements.
Muito obrigada, Nádia, por sua apresentação. Eu acho que temos bastantes coisas que você trouxe que é importante conversar e talvez dialogar mais profundamente, mas de fato você traz todas as oportunidades que o BRICS Plus pode trazer para Emirados Árabes, mas também para a região. Eu queria, então, passar agora a palavra para nosso segundo convidado, que é o professor, pesquisador, etc., Javad Irania, que é pesquisador do grupo de estudos do Golfo. Deixa um minuto, eu me encontro aqui. Que é diretor do grupo de estudos do Golfo Pérsico, no Centro de Investigações Científicas e Estudos Estratégicos do Oriente Médio, no Irã. Ele é um jornalista muito reconhecido, tem escrito na maioria de todos os grandes meios de comunicação, tanto da região também, como na Inglaterra, etc., no mundo, com suas percepções sempre sobre o Golfo. Atualmente está trabalhando num projeto de livro sobre segurança no Golfo Pérsico, e é um pesquisador bastante ativo. Nós encontramos ele por diferentes artigos que ele tem escrito e que tem colocado um posicionamento bastante claro sobre Irã no contexto internacional e, sobretudo, nos BRICS. Então, muito obrigada. Depois de tantas dificuldades que a gente teve de conexão, nós conseguimos, por fim. Então, muito bem-vindo, Jevad. A palavra é com você.
Thank you very much. Many thanks. And thank you, Leah, for trying to connect me to this session. Hello to all the dear audiences. I would like to thank BRICS Policy Center and Institute of International Relations of Rio de Janeiro University for this invitation. My special thanks and appreciation to Professor Maria Rodriguez and Dr. Mohsen Mofidi and Mrs. Leah. I will discuss the position of BRICS in Iran's new government's foreign policy. Let me start with Iran's interpretation of world order. Since the foreign policy of the Islamic Republic of Iran is determined by the establishment, and governments are only the implementers of the policies in this area, so understanding psychological milieu of establishment and leader of Iran is an important variable in interpreting the foreign policy of this country. In general, two views can be drawn in the current Iran's power structure regarding international order. One view holds that a power shift from west to east has occurred as a result of the decline of American hegemony. Based on this, Iran should approach new international poles such as China and Russia and take advantage of a new order. Membership in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS is important from this point of view. In fact, this issue is caused by the impact of structural variable on Iran's foreign policy, which is more visible in Iran's foreign policy after the Iran-Iraq war. Before that, the agent factor had a major impact on Iran's foreign policy. Ayatollah Khamenei believes in this view, and his view is based on three axes of global power. The first, the liberal order based on institutions and laws created after World War II is weakening in his view because American hegemony is declining. A second axis formed by Russia and China is seen as rising. The third axis joins Iran with this rising new world order with Moscow and Beijing, adopting a policy of look to the east and abandoning the old slogan of neither east nor west that was dominant after the Iran 1979 revolution. This is kind of positive balance in foreign policy and is not negative balance. This view believes in priority of look to the east in the Iran's foreign policy, and look to the west is not a strategic priority. The manifestation of this view can be traced in transformation document of Ibrahim Raisi government, where North America is not mentioned as a region with which Iran can have relation. Another look at international order, despite the belief that a new war has occurred, the new international order does not have a polarity nature and logic. The view of Pezeshkian, Iran's new president, regarding the world order takes into account this approach. According to this view, world powers has shifted from the West to the East, and American hegemony has declined, but the new poles have not been established. This view can be traced in the words and works of policy officials such as Mohammad Javad Zarif, who is close to views of Pezeshkian. Accordingly, the world system has left a rigid bipolar order that puts pressure on Iran and is on the path of a new order and formation of transition stage of world system. Based on this world is in transitional period, and failure to understand the real coordinates of new order to be dangerous for Iran's national interests, according to Pezeshkian administration. The implies meaning of post-polar order. This term is the Pezeshkian term in his recent article in Tehran Times newspaper. The implied meaning of post-polar order in Pezeshkian view can be questioning the new poles in new global order, or not see the logic of it like Cold War. In this context, according to Zarif's word, Iran should not wait for the emergence of new poles, but any great and effective power can emerge in a specific area. Based on this, from view of Pezeshkian, the logic of Iran foreign policy in the new world should be balanced and use capacities of new world based on opportunity-driven policy. Because the new order does not have an inflexible or tight polar nature, being too close to one power cannot provide Iran's interest. Since, for example, the nature and logic of China's relation with the United States is not as irreconcilable relationship everywhere. So, Iran's desired interest cannot be secured by being close to China. The meaning of Pezeshkian's new world is to use capacities and opportunities and take advantage of every opportunity to secure national interest. Panduli policy is close to this view, according to which middle powers in New World Order refrain from relying too much on one great power, and at the same time have relation with other main powers. Based on this, Pezeshkian has called its foreign policy neither toward East nor West. And at the same time, he has stated that foreign policy of his government is neither anti-Eastern nor anti-Western. Therefore, while paying attention to the new realities that are manifested in the new world, attention should be paid to capacities of global South. And this capacity should not be sacrificed to look to the West. On the other hand, by creating balance in foreign relations, should benefit from the capacity of loose world order. Therefore, Iran in post-polar war simultaneously cooperates, competes, and builds network in various fields. In such a context, Pezeshkian administration adhered to a strengthening relation with China and Russia in one hand, and considers détente with the West on the other hand. Therefore, we should consider that membership in BRICS is an example of paying attention to regionalism in Iran's foreign policy. Regionalism means active presence in regional issues to play a role, which is necessary to stabilize Iran's position in current international system. Hence, membership in BRICS has various reasons for Iran. De-dollarization is one of the reasons that Iran is following. Tehran believes that the dominance of dollar over world economy makes sanction more effective. On the other hand, de-dollarization from economic transaction reduces economic dependence on the West, reduces problems caused by sanction and manages exchange rate fluctuations. Iran seeks to improve its economic situation with bilateral and multilateral trade relations with BRICS members. These potentials would be advantageous if Iran government could sell oil at its desired volume. The US faces a significant challenge in imposing sanctions on several nations once they are engaged in trade with Iran, as BRICS will present nearly half of world population. However, a notable challenge emerged from US sanctions, which would prevent Iran from selling oil in US dollar. The idea of de-dollarization and creation of a common currency has gained traction, supported not only by Vladimir Putin, but also by Brazilian President Mr. Lula da Silva. However, the feasibility of such a scenario is near term remain uncertain. That being said, Iranian government still has potential to boost its oil and non-oil export to BRICS members using the Chinese yuan, local currencies, and barter arrangement. This strategy could mitigate the substantial portion of the pressure stemming from US sanctions. The influence of the Chinese yuan might grow, especially considering that Argentina, Brazil, Iran, Russia, and Saudi Arabia already include yuan in their payment. Nonetheless, the US dollar will likely maintain its dominance among the BRICS countries. Tehran requires US dollar and euro be transferred to Iran and injecting them into its market to stabilize its real value. Since 2018, when Donald Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA, real has been plummeting. In this regard, Iran has proposed to Russia in recent meeting in Russia. Iran proposed to Russia the establishment a mechanism similar to FATF among BRICS members, and believes that such mechanism is great opportunity to develop banking cooperation among member states. Iran also believes that the Asian Clearing Union, ACU, is an opportunity to remove dollar from transaction between members. Tehran has invited Russia to join this union because it believes that this union provides great capacity for development of cooperation between Iran and Russia. On the other hand, Iran's membership in BRICS gives Iran presence as an official institutional framework. Iran hereby declared that it's not isolated. Bypassing US sanction is another reason for Iran to become a member of BRICS. This bloc is powerful that Iran believes can circumvent the US sanction by doing business with members of this bloc. Creating a bloc against the West and the United States is another important reason for Iran's membership in BRICS. Pezeshkian government believed that Iran's membership in BRICS presented a very important opportunity for Tehran to develop relations with the members of this group. Based on this view, multilateralism is a smart approach of Iran and BRICS members, and it provides numerous opportunities for members to secure their fair and common interests. Pezeshkian has clearly stated that Iran is against the unilateralism and support multilateralism. In this framework, Iran wants active presence and greater cooperation in BRICS and Shanghai Organization. Iran also proposed to form a special security structure for BRICS under the name of BRICS Security Commission. Iran argues that the world is changing, and BRICS, with its population size, economy, and power, can be created a new security structure in international system to help order and security of future world. According to Iran, BRICS Security Commission is aimed at dealing with common threats such as terrorism, extremism, drugs, abuse of emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, satellite, human trafficking, illicit biological activities, and threat in cyberspace. One issue that Iran fails to pay attention to is the reality that BRICS members like China operate within the international capitalist system. And for instance, China's second ranking in the global economy is indebted to the capitalist order. Iran's interpretation of future world order, I mean the decline of American hegemony and the liberal order and the rise of China, is another reason for Iran's membership in BRICS. Tehran believes political integration with the West and the United States would undermine the state's grasp on society, challenge the narrative of its elites, and hollow out its cultural traditions. Fear of overwhelming American and European soft power by the top echelon of such states is thus an essential factor in their decision to differentiate between commercial and non-commercial relations with Western countries. Consequently, to ensure a tighter grip on domestic control in China, Russia, and Iran, keeping the United States at bay is a priority for regime security. Iran's reinvigorated relations with China and Russia over the last decade are far less about identity and more reflection of short to medium term security concerns. The pivot to east is therefore politically motivated. In this regard, Ayatollah Khamenei has said, today the world is on the threshold of a new international order, which after the era of bipolar world order and the theory of unipolar world order is taking shape. In the current period, of course, the US has become weaker day by day. These are words of Ayatollah Khamenei. According to this view, the new era is multilateralism with new poles. Hence, Iran's membership in BRICS can create new potential, and this cooperation can be in direction of negating unilateralism in international system. In fact, in new world order, Iran is trying to increase its maneuverability against the United States and its allies by joining to bloc consisting China and Russia. Because in this order, great power determine international relation rules and norms, and the regional powers, middle powers at the international level, can play a role by aligning with the great powers. Pezeshkian government has stated that look to the East foreign policy is strategic and not tactical. And relations with Eastern countries are seriously at the top of priority of his government. However, it should be noted that the ideological aspect of this policy would not be same as during the presidency of Ahmadinejad and Ibrahim Raisi. Hence, Pezeshkian administration will not ignore the potential of global South and blocs such as BRICS. While his foreign policy understands the realities of new world, it also considers the limits of relation with the West. Therefore, while de-escalation tension with the West, Pezeshkian is not oblivious to the opportunities of relation with the East and blocs such as BRICS. It seems that Pezeshkian tension management policy with the West is useful for BRICS as well, and it will expand BRICS members' relations with Iran. In sum, without normal relation with the West, Iran membership in BRICS cannot deliver benefit in the form of trade, higher economic growth rate, and technology transfer in key areas like artificial intelligence. As long as Iran foreign policy prioritize security over national economic development, participation in organization under an exclusive Russia and China umbrella will only uphold the status quo in Iran. So sorry, thank you very much for listening and your attention.
Muito obrigado por essa ampla discussão e ponto de vista do Irã em ingressar nos BRICS, no BRICS Plus especialmente. E eu queria fazer uns comentários, mas antes eu queria convidar todo mundo, que todas as perguntas e comentários a gente pode fazer pelo Q&A, que está aqui, já temos algumas. E eu queria fazer algumas, talvez pelo horário, eu queria fazer algumas perguntas, na verdade, só para vocês começar a pensar. Eu acho que todos falamos, eu acho que é muito importante a discussão, e a gente sabe que tem o bloco BRICS, e agora o BRICS Plus, ele adquiriu nos últimos anos, dentro deste contexto geopolítico que temos, mais representação e mais participação na ordem global e, sobretudo, uma demanda de mais participação e mais representação no mundo global. Todos concordamos. De fato, temos muitos... isso se traduz de que muitos países querem entrar nos BRICS e muitos têm apresentado pedidos formais mesmo para a próxima cúpula, não é? Eu queria ver um pouco com vocês duas coisas. Uma, se é possível que vocês pensem nesse olhar dos BRICS, além das possibilidades econômicas, do comércio, da cooperação entre BRICS, etc., como vocês veem essa discussão, e aí eu sei que vocês trouxeram isso nas suas apresentações, mas como vocês veem quando muitos analistas discutem de que, na verdade, a gente está formando um novo bloco, um bloco, podemos falar que um bloco anti-ocidental, que organiza o sul global e que, de alguma maneira, o que se está procurando é rivalizar diretamente com o Ocidente. Isso por um lado. E, por outro, como vocês veem também uma discussão que se faz bastante sobre o papel tão relevante da China e da Rússia dentro do bloco. Isso é como a primeira questão, que eu acho que é importante, talvez, pensar nesse contexto mais geopolítico atual. Eu teria aqui outra, e depois vou recolher algumas que estão no Q&A. O segundo que eu queria trazer aqui é, tendo em vista a próxima cúpula dos BRICS na Rússia, eu queria perguntar para vocês, que seguramente sabem muito mais que nós, quais são as expectativas de cada um dos países de vocês frente à cúpula? tem uma agenda, o Irã, tem uma agenda Emirados para essa cúpula, tem alguma perspectiva? Porque a gente vai vendo cada vez que as agendas vão ficando muito mais consolidadas, digamos. Então, eu queria ver qual é essa agenda e se vocês têm alguma expectativa dentro dessa primeira reunião que vocês vão participar como membros plenos, na verdade, no BRICS Plus. Eu queria começar por aí. Se vocês não se importam, a gente pode vocês podem responder um pouco assim mesmo, como eu já falei, essa é uma primeira conversa que a gente vai aprofundar seguramente depois, mas só para ir fechando, digamos, nossas percepções sobre o BRICS Plus. E uma final, porque eu acho que é interessante, nessa que eu estava falando da China e da Rússia ter um papel muito importante, não é? E sobretudo nos últimos anos, tanto em termos comerciais, mas também como em termos geopolíticos, não poderíamos deixar de pensar nisso. E que vocês pensam do Brasil nesse agrupamento? Como vocês veem o Brasil e também o que vocês esperam também de uma relação como o Brasil, além de uma relação comercial, que seguramente muitos que vocês já têm, mas que vocês pensam de uma relação com o Brasil em uma proximidade tão grande como vai ser o BRICS Plus. Quem quer começar? Talvez não sei se a Nájila queira se aventurar nestas perguntas. Comentários,
Sure.
mas bem.
So I'll be trying to combine the answers so that I make sure I answer your, I would say, 4 questions. So in terms of, I mean, what would be brought more in terms of having the enlargement of new members joining the BRICS? The BRICS, I mean, for more than a decade has been trying to solidify itself. And this is in terms of building the institution itself, operating the institution, and then maybe trying to find more of like a funding system to implement different projects among the BRICS countries and maybe facilitate the market access among the BRICS countries. And so what we are going to bring in terms of like more than a full decade of work between the BRICS countries and some in terms of, let's say, the Arab countries, in terms of UAE and Saudi Arabia, and also the other joining countries such as Iran and Ethiopia. So I think the added value at this time and at this stage of BRICS building and the BRICS enlargement would make BRICS more mature in terms of operating. And this is a very key area, because even if we have the BRICS as a very well established and a very well institutionalized bloc, at the end of the day, we have to sort of like deepen the cooperation among the countries and accelerate the work. This is a very important point, in that we live in such a very dynamic world, and that we have to catch up with different developments happening and different needs happening and different, I would say, urgencies, such as, for example, COVID that we had years ago, and the different, issues we are facing, such as the climate change, food security, and other issues. And so by having these countries, I mean, the new joiners for the BRICS, especially those that are located in the MENA region, it would make the cooperation more mature, in my view. And this will take me to the second question about like what do we expect in terms of agenda for the upcoming summit. I think the agenda will focus on adding maybe more of like new topics and subtopics that would make the deliverables of BRICS Plus more of like a full and comprehensive package. Because I mean, for the, let's say, past decade, or since the establishment, we were so focused into let's say the economic aspect, the trade aspect, little bit of geopolitics, yes. But then there are many areas and sectors and aspects that should be discussed in a very deep way, given that there are new resources coming in by having the new joiners to the BRICS Plus. And so I think in terms of topics, we expect that there will be maybe a better enlargement of the topics that should be discussed, a better maybe addressing of the obstacles that the BRICS has been facing so far. Especially that, I mean, for the old, let's say, structure of the BRICS, it was missing the Middle East, and it's in the middle of the world. And so by connecting the dots and by having many countries from the Middle East, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Iran, and Ethiopia, we are connecting more dots. And so the work will be more efficient, more feasible, and more maybe interconnected so that we can achieve better results. This would also take me to answer your third question on the role of China and Russia from the perspective. I'm trying to maybe create a smooth transition between the questions. So in terms of thinking of China and Russia and their role within the BRICS, China and Russia are comprehensive strategic partners for the United Arab Emirates. I mean, for a long time, China was the largest trade partner for us, Russia as well, in terms of alignment of, the proposed solutions for different, crises that we are facing in the world, in terms of trade, in terms of geopolitical alignment, in terms also of military and security recently. And so having these, I would say, profound partners for the United Arab Emirates, part of the bloc that we are joining right now, will ease so much work, not only in terms of bilateral relations, but also in terms of UAE, China, and UAE, Russia, cooperation in third parties. And when I say in third parties, not necessarily only in other members of the BRICS Plus, but also in new markets and areas surrounding other members of the BRICS Plus. So this is, I would say, a very good opportunity for tripling the work altogether by utilizing all of the partnerships that have been, managed and operated for the past years for the benefit of the BRICS Plus as a bloc and for the benefit of the Global South. So I hope I answered the questions.
You're muted, Maria, você está mutada.
Perfeito, Nádia. Super, super obrigada. Super bem esse seu comentário. Queria passar para nosso segundo convidado, que eu acho que talvez caiu. Não é? Então, eu queria avisar que nós tivemos muitas dificuldades hoje com a internet. Primeiro, tivemos muita dificuldade com o nosso convidado da Etiópia, que caía a cada minuto, não conseguiu sustentar a ligação, sustentar o WhatsApp aqui, mesmo que tentamos por todas as maneiras, a gente não conseguiu. Então, parece que a Etiópia mesmo está com problema da internet e não conseguimos. Então, eu acho que talvez nosso colega do Irã, ele caiu nesse momento. Mas então, eu vou fazer aqui duas perguntas que são muito pequenas, Nália, mesmo que são muito profundas, e a gente não vai ter aqui muito tempo de trabalhá-las, isso vai ser um processo a longo prazo, espero que a gente possa encontrar outras vezes. E aqui tem uma pergunta que eu vou fazer mais, essa pergunta que eu acho interessante, e é o que está pensando, na verdade, os Emirados sobre transição energética, que esse tem sido um tema que concorrentemente tem vindo para cada um dos países, obviamente, para os BRICS e para os BRICS Plus é uma agenda, e quando os países entraram, o BRICS Plus se expande, essa foi uma das grandes questões, se os grandes produtores de petróleo e a agenda da transição, como articular essas duas agendas, na verdade. Eu falo porque nós, aqui também no Brasil, temos a mesma discussão. Então, um pouco, como vocês têm essa discussão lá dentro, na Arábia Saudita? Na Emirados Árabes, perdão.
Sure. So the United Arab Emirates is one of the leading countries, not only in the Middle East, but in the world, that is achieving the green transition towards renewable energy in a very fast and speedy way. And it's one of the successful benchmarks around the world in terms of modeling of how the green transition is happening smoothly. Although in terms, I mean, of contributing as carbon emission, the UAE is very small, so it's not contributing much in comparison to the big countries. But the UAE has been also leading sort of the experience, the positive experience towards the green transition. For example, the UAE started as an oil exporter country, but now, I mean, our target is that by 2030, which is around like less than 5 years, we are going to rely 0% on oil export in our economy, because we are heading very fast in terms of diversifying our economy, so that we don't really rely much on oil, but rather we are pushing forward to achieve renewable energy transition in a very speedy way. And we have different infrastructure in the UAE and very advanced infrastructure in the UAE that's implementing renewable energy. Many buildings in the UAE, even the building I work in, is using renewable energy and not using the old fuel to maybe to get the electricity and water. And so this is not limited to the United Arab Emirates alone, but the UAE also has many projects around the world. Is also, I would say, a big funder of many renewable energy projects around the world, helping other countries also to achieve the green transition, because we always believe that we should not really be leaving anyone behind. The United Arab Emirates overall is the largest donor in the world in different aspects, and the green transition is very key for us in that we are trying to put the best practices that we gained from our, let's say, partnerships with other countries, and also that we modified internally within the UAE so that they become of a great benefit for the whole world. For example, last year, the United Arab Emirates hosted the COP28. It was one of the successful COPs organized, I mean, throughout the history of the COP itself as an event. Even in terms of commitment, I mean, from the first day, you heard of, like, let's say, different funds and billions committed and advocated towards helping other countries and bringing the whole world together so that they are more committed towards achieving the green transition and helping other countries, small countries, let's say the islands as well, to have their own system and infrastructure towards achieving renewable energy. And the BRICS would also help in such a platform, a great platform, would help in facilitating this transition and the great ambition of the United Arab Emirates to contribute to the global green transition, and not only the regional green transition.
Nádia, eu acho que é um tema que a gente vai discutir bastante daqui para frente, que é um dos temas fundamentais para o mundo hoje, nessas grandes mudanças globais. Javad, you are here? You are hear me? Javad?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't hear your questions because I was disconnected. But I heard your first question regarding the role of China and Russia in BRICS and the role of Brazil. Is it okay? I can address this question.
It's okay.
Okay. I think the BRICS is a bloc with some different views in it. Yes, this is true that all of BRICS members criticize the current international system and want to shape new world order. But this new world order isn't antagonistic with the recent world order, because Iran's views is different in this regard. But because Iran view BRICS as an instrument instrument to be against the current liberal order. But for BRICS members, especially for members like Brazil and India, the BRICS is not a bloc against the liberal order, because some of these members work with liberal order and also work with the BRICS. And for this reason, I think China and especially Russia after Ukraine war view BRICS as a bloc against liberal order, especially for Russia. And I think by increasing the tensions in Taiwan, the view of China will be close to Russia and Iran in this case. But for other members, BRICS is a potential in transitional world order. And for example, for members such as Emirates and Brazil, BRICS is a bloc between is a bloc for balance their relation with the Western countries and Western institutions and organizations. And in this bloc, there are many opportunities and potentials for them to use it. And but Iran's view is totally different, I think.
Eu acho que são muitas. Bom, eu estou adorando essas nossas conversas aqui, porque é um primeiro encontro e uma primeira aproximação, sobretudo de ideias que vai e vem, de percepções, e eu acho que isso vai ser muito interessante, essa nossa troca aqui nesses espaços de diálogo. Eu acho que por hoje a gente vai finalizar, e eu queria de todo jeito, então, agradecer, perdão, que eu acho que não vi uma mão aqui levantada. Arthur, você acha que podemos fazer essa pergunta no próximo encontro? Que a gente vai ter todo mundo também? Se importaria? Não? Beleza. E vou já passar para eles também. Eu acho que estamos muito avançados da hora, a gente teve vários problemas com a transmissão, com a internet, e a gente tinha pensado realmente fazer 1 hora e já passamos bastante. Mas eu queria agradecer todo mundo, ou seja, todos os que nos assistiram neste webinar, mas especialmente a nossos palestrantes que estão aqui conosco, e queria de novo agradecer muito a Najla Alzaroni e a nosso grande representante do Irã. Para nós, acho que foi muito importante para terá também o Jivad Irania e trazer suas percepções e seus pontos de vista sobre Irã. Nosso próximo encontro vai ser o dia 9, vamos trazer os outros 2 países, mas nosso próximo encontro vamos fazer todos os novos membros dos países Plus, para fazer uma conversa muito mais aprofundada, talvez, sobre alguns pontos que saíram aqui e que seguramente a gente vai acumulando para nossa conversa posterior. E, sobretudo, penso que é muito importante, bom, para o Brasil, para o BRICS Policy Center, para a universidade, é bem importante ir entrelaçando laços com esses novos parceiros, que são nossos parceiros também, e que esperamos que sejam nossos parceiros também na discussão, na pesquisa, no estudo, nos diálogos, e etc, etc. Então, boa tarde para todos, boa noite para os que estão fora, e vão receber de novo o nosso contato para participar de novo dia 9 de outubro. Muito obrigada, Lia, pelos esforços, e obrigado nossos tradutores, como sempre, maravilhosos, e nos vemos, então, logo depois, do dia 9 de outubro. Boa tarde.